Reframing Mindset podcast, where I clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset podcast. My name is Constant Brooks, and this episode we talk about, come back last year I still have the goal of actually opening the various bank accounts and stuff like that. And this year when I went in 2019, I stopped, but I actually realized that that goal was actually still kind of relevant, same way, because there was something that I actually was trying to do, and I actually realized that there was some issue right there. It's like, oh, it sounds like a good idea in theory, but when you start executing it, you can actually realize it's going to cause some problem. And it's like, I make you understand certain stuff. And you have to actually go through this experience to learn these stuff. Because, hey, you never done this before. What do I mean? So I talk about the episode where I talk about separating business and personal and stuff like that to make things more easy to deal with and and stuff like that. And what happens that say you're a person out there so or this try to make money but you don't want to go full time out there so sell business and all these things you're just trying to try it out until you say you're gonna go full time. And you say okay you're gonna go and then gonna make some business try to separate business and personal and stuff like that using your personal item like a personal credit card and all these stuff. I know this summer and what you can actually realize is that maybe it's in the start it's not actually bad to actually try that to say, okay, I'm going to separate business and personal. Because, hey, you're at the start of your career. This is the start of your career. Or this is starting, you didn't start out a lot of money. You didn't start out with a bag of riches or anything like that. You didn't start out like that. You start out maybe an employee or stuff like that and you have to save up some money, be able to get a card or get a debit card or stuff like that. And then you're out there, so you're going to try something. So it means that you can't just go out and be like, oh, just give me a business card really quick and all these stuff. And then all of a sudden, you're out there so making money. So what happens is that, but in actually doing this, you're going to actually realize that there's a reason why when you go to the banks and stuff like that, they have things called business card and personal card and stuff like that. It's personal for a reason. And what just like for example, you have a business phone, work phone, like every time you just sign up for people and stuff like that. What is your work phone? What's your home phone? What is the cell? What is a mobile phone? And all these stuff. When the new level of richness is actually knowing what those difference are. Every time you see the paper and able to sign up those papers really efficiently. You go like and what so what happens that when you actually fully transition to the business person and you become those people, oh, just open an LLC and all these stuff and all these things. What will happen is that by doing that, you're out there so establishing that when you're separating the business, you're out there say, okay, I'm going to go fully business, fully out there, so opening a business account, using business card and stuff like that. I'd be like, oh, this is business purchases only and and things like that. But what happens that it's not wrong. It's not wrong for you to always to try to do the with your personal stuff. But what you can actually realize, just like okay, I'm gonna try to separate business and personal using my personal number or stuff like that. Or buying us, or you're gonna be like, oh, you're going to realize, oh, there's a reason why those businesses, like for example, your telecommunication company and stuff like that, have a thing called that business, but that for business and that for personal. Like for example, my internet company have internet company for residential and internet company for commercial. When actually reach these levels, you're going to actually realize, oh, there's a reason why they are those two stuff. There's there's a difference, and it's like, but you can't plunge into it. You don't want to plunge into it yet without first establishing that okay, these are the limits of these stuff. And so when you actually go in and say you're going to fully go to it, how happy is that when you actually go into this stuff, actually to fully commit, you can't go halfway and be like, I'm going to halfway do this and all this stuff. When I actually go on, I have to fully commit and be like, oh, I'm going to do these stuff. But these are the hurdles. That's the reason why sometimes I talk about the first the guest that I had, chance where I talk about I did some consultation and stuff like that. I was asking him some questions and stuff like that. And so the question was valid, where be like, okay, don't do some hustle stuff like and that. What you're gonna realize is how quickly that hustle that the hustle way actually is a legit floppy way. Like it and it can give you a small high for a little while, but there's a reason why it's called a hustle or stuff like that. Like legit, it's not a business. It's a hustle or called side hustle or stuff like that. There's a reason why they call it side hustle or stuff like that because it's legit nothing. It's like when it actually reaches that level, that's the thing when it actually becoming established, actually becoming established, those stuff actually become is like and that's the reason why it be like, oh, sometimes be like, oh, you have a degree and stuff and what is that you have it's hard for you to get a job and it's like, oh my god, no, I'm so done in the mud and stuff like that. There's a reason why that degree is a price, that price. And it's like even though you can't get a job and stuff like this, if you from your high school, like, oh my god, this and that and stuff. You actually pay the price. Just like if the high school person is come in and you out there so don't anymore can get a job and stuff like that. And be like, okay, you see them out there so hustling and they set a price for their product that they was out there so hustling and stuff like that. There's a reason why the price is that price. There's a just like the degree. There's a reason for the price is that price. We just don't. I can't tell you exactly why that. I can the experience and say yo that price is worth the price. Just like how when you out there so hustling me and all this stuff. There's a reason why your price is your price. And I actually pay it. I actually know what the hell I'm getting. Like that's the price and the price. So just like everything, the price is the price. So what will happen is that when you're out there to do having your degree and stuff like that, when you're out there to say doing something like a side hustle and stuff like that, as a degree person, you can actually realize that term is going to actually die quickly. You can actually be like, okay, I'm going to register this thing rate. You can be like, oh, what happens that you actually those are things will be like, oh wow, I'm not necessarily making a couple dollars and stuff like that. It's like it's actually way too much time for me to out there so be doing this to actually be out there. So doing this as a side gig, it's actually just register this stuff and go full time with it. And it's like, oh, just go full time with it. And it's like, um, but what happens is that when you actually go full time with it, now you actually have to go full time. Like, oh, I'm a full time business. This. And be like, oh, you're not gonna be like, okay, oh, my entrepreneur. So, yeah, you're legit. You're legit. Actually, that person, entrepreneur doing those stuff. And it's like, okay, now you're going to actually do this stuff. But in trying, what happens is that you can actually try separating the business and person and all this stuff, and then realize that okay, you actually have to do these stuff in real life. Like you can't be out there so half-assed. Like, okay, I'm gonna just use my personal and separate this and that, and find fancy way and all these stuff. And be like, oh, you actually have to go out and register, separate business and this and like business and personal. We'll be like, okay, if we actually know each other in real life, we'll be like, oh, when we see you, when we see you, we'll be like, oh, if you're out there so doing business and stuff like that. Say, yo, oh, this is doing business and stuff like that. See you another time or stuff like that. Message a different way. Like these are stuff that be like, okay, yo, this is going riches or stuff like that. Business and customer is two different stuff. And what happens that the higher you go in interaction and analysis, you're gonna actually realize those stuff. And what happens that you're gonna slowly do this stuff, doing this stuff the right way. And it's like, oh, all these simple lessons can actually come together to say, yeah, this is why you're out there to see business and personal and stuff like that. Like, when they go be like, oh, this is this and that, and it's like, oh, mm. So it's like, so those are like experience you're gonna go to be like, oh, you're not under. Sometimes you're gonna be like, yo, just make some proclamation and stuff like getting some bash and stuff like that. oh, you're not wrong, you're not on the wrong track. It's like you have to actually do it to know that when you actually get those answers and you be like, okay, this doesn't work. You know exactly why it doesn't work. You know exactly why, yeah. You know exactly why we get a degree and you know to be entrepreneur and stuff like that. Because what is that you're gonna realize that the side hustle thing is legit for the for a certain level. Like you're gonna and that's when we're like, oh we're actually reach this level like oh wow you actually can you you actually work for your you actually earn what you were at some in and that's thing that's the reason why you're actually going through this pursuit like oh it's a validating what you were worth and it's like oh doing this we're gonna quickly realize wow we actually didn't work we actually work more than these stuff like oh wow actually it wasn't a fluke we actually work more than these stuff. And it's like, wow. And it's like in doing these side hustle stuff, you're gonna be like, wow, setting a price. You're gonna set some price and be like, oh my god, and get like, oh wow, we actually work more than these stuff. We actually work. We actually supposed to be out there to do this stuff. And you're like, oh wow, that's actually wow. That's actually the real price. And it's like, yeah, so it's like those are stuff you're gonna be like actually separating business and personal and be like, yo, you can actually do these stuff and set the price and be like, yo, yeah, but using the card and personal cards for let's say, oh, I want this doing business purchase and stuff like that. And when you're just starting, there's nothing wrong with that to try to separate the business and personal, but you're gonna actually realize that that's the reason why I say when you're 28 year and all these, you're gonna realize that you legit own nothing. Like, cause you're always in the startup, you legit own nothing. And it's like, and in this whole phase out there, so legit running around feel like you're out there so trying to get something. When I start make the money, then actually I can make some purchases and those stuff. When I actually start make some purchases, you're gonna actually be like, okay, now all those stuff click. Now it makes sense for me to just go. You see me out there, say, you usually watch the person, the YouTube person be like, oh, open all this card and all this stuff and all this stuff. And you see me out there doing that. It's like, what happened? Like, oh, it finally just clicked. It took a while for me to make the clip, but everything just click now. And see me out there so doing it naturally. And it's like, oh, you naturally see me do this. You naturally see me go here every day. And it's like, what happens? Because what happens? I experiment with every single every single thing. And be like, oh, this is what I like. This is what I like. You always see me here. And then I get all the exclusive stuff. And be like, oh, this is what I like. And but I actually go through all these stuff to see that when you actually go through and that's the luxury. I'd be like, oh, all these things we call scam, fancy stuff, and all these stuff. Actually, the part of actualization is when you can actually go through all these stuff and have the luxury to actually test to see, oh, is this a scam? Is this good or not? And be like, oh, your reputation is like, oh, yeah, you actually go and test these stuff and it's like, oh, this stuff is actually floppy. This stuff is actually not. Oh, this is what this actually means. This is what this actually means and stuff like that. You actually test these stuff to be like, okay, yeah, we out there so testing all these 10,000 as you out there together. They be like, oh, you can actually test these stuff. You'll be like, oh, you see me out there so with a full product, and it's like, oh, yeah, we actually tried every single thing, and it's like, this is the best product we can actually for this price, and when they actually come in and give us the money for this price, you'll be like, oh, yeah, you got what you you got what you asked for, and we actually went through. You got what you asked for. It's like, we actually went through these stuff to say, yeah, this is what we actually was all this working on all these time to get this. And it's like, oh, you actually got what you asked for. And it's like, yeah. But these what happens at these episodes are the small little things that we actually go through to say, yeah, we actually get that full product. These are the things I'll be like, yo, we go through and it's like so that's the basic thing for the episode and it's like oh it's just another way to reiterate it'll be like oh yo at this level at this time you still no matter you made some progress in all these stuff and all these stuff you're gonna realize you still own nothing walking around owning nothing as yet. Nothing as yet. And it's like, oh, but what happens that you actually able to purchase stuff to actually test things to say, okay, yeah, is one, and that thing will be like, oh, yo, this gonna relate to episode where everything has a shelf life, everything has a shelf life and stuff like that. To say, yo, actually start purchasing the product for real, and difference between getting a gift and an actual buying stuff is like, oh, you're gonna actually be like, yo, you're gonna actually see the difference when you actually start somewhat own something, and it's gonna feel, you're gonna feel different, like, and that's the thing about the podcast. Podcast is legit, not it does a outlet, it does a outlet. It does partly something, it does partly something, it's better than zero. But these are actually doing these stuff. I actually realize that it's a good idea that I have, but uh, it when I actually be like, oh, you're gonna realize, oh, there's a reason why this thing is there for a reason. There's a reason why there's a internet stuff for business, um, this for business, and this for residential and all this stuff, because we're supposed to actually do this stuff for business and personal. And it's like, oh, cool. Now we understand that. But they actually take you for actually doing that now, and that's the thing about all this stuff. That's the thing about the we call it the legal versus legal way, that you actually have the way of actually try and do this stuff and be like, okay, I mean, actually do this stuff. The legal way is actually really the better way. It's like, we can actually go through and try go through all the thing and be like, oh wow, actually the legal way is actually really the best way. Like, you get the best benefits and everything like that. Yeah, so that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter @ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.